Hello, I'm Victoria from BiblioLifestyle, and you're listening to the Reader's Couch podcast, the show that will help you bridge the gap between living a full and busy life to one where you're reading, learning new things, and having fun. In today's episode, I'm super excited to talk about the 2023 Fall Reading Guide. Plus, I'll also be sharing 8 new books that I think you should add to your autumn reading TBR. So if you're looking for some new books to read this season, stay tuned. Hi readers, welcome again to the Reader's Couch. I'm your host, Victoria Wood, and in today's episode, I'll be talking all about the Fall Reading Guide, and I'll be sharing 8 new books that I think you should add to your TBR. Now, I've probably said this before, but even though I get most of my reading done in the summer, fall is my favorite reading season. It's just super cozy when you see the leaves starting to change, the temperature starts to cool. It's just the perfect time to really curl up with a book, and it's also a great opportunity to explore some great new ones. So, whether you're seeking a cozy mystery, a thought-provoking literary fiction, captivating fantasy, or even some short fiction, whatever it is you're looking for, the BiblioLifestyle 2023 Fall Reading Guide has something for everyone. So, if you haven't already, visit fallreadingguide.com to download your free copy of the 2023 Fall Reading Guide. So again, that's fallreadingguide.com for your free copy of the 2023 Fall Reading Guide. Now, if you're hearing about the Fall Reading Guide for the very first time, it's a free downloadable PDF that I create, sharing some of the best books of the season that I've read, along with some fun things to do. You can do them by yourself, do them with your family. There are also some fun seasonal recipes in there, along with reading or lifestyle tips. We also have a challenge and just lots more. It's just a handy guide that's perfect for getting you into that seasonal mood. Now, I have to say, and if you're an avid listener, you've heard it already, but disclaimer, this guide is not an exhaustive list of all the books that are coming out. I haven't even read all the books that are coming out this season. I've just selected my favorites from the ones I've read, and now I'm sharing them with you. So I hope you like a book or two from the guide. I hope you'll consider picking up a book and adding it to your reading list, because I really took a lot of time and care in putting this together for you and for other readers so that they can have a resource to some really good books, because after all, there are just so many books out there, it's really hard to choose. So I'm hoping the guide will be just that for you, a guide to some of the season's best new books. Now, before I start talking about all the books you can find in the guide, I want to talk about my favorite part of the guide, and that is the guide's cover. Now, when I think back to all the fall reading guides to date, this guide, 2023, is our 4th guide. And when I think back to the very first one in 2020, it was a stock photo of a covered bridge near the water, but the second and the third are both illustrated covers. The first one, which was the illustrated fall cover, was a fall reading hayride, and the third is a book barn with a pumpkin patch and a corn maze. And this time around, for the 4th guide cover, it's also illustrated, but I wanted a water setting because the previous 2 were kind of land-based, and I was really thinking about the trip my family and I took up to the Connecticut, Massachusetts, Rhode Island area last autumn. And we did lots of driving around, and we loved stopping by the ponds and the water bodies where you have, little seating. I could sit and read, the boys could hike and fish, It's just, I really enjoyed that kind of vibe. It was just, really enjoyed it. So when I was thinking about the guide cover, I knew I wanted to kind of replicate a little bit of what we were doing last year. Now, if you're an avid listener of the pod, I've said it before and I'll say it again, coming up with reading guide designs is just a fun family effort. And Lauren, or Illustrator, just always does a great job. I'll sit at the computer when it's time to kind of get the planning rolling. I'll pull up all the previous guide covers. I'll call everyone to come around the computer and look and see and say, hey, okay, this is what we did this year. What are we doing for this present year? And we brainstorm. I'll take elements from what everyone is saying and we kind of put it together. So it's for sure a family effort. And again, many thanks to Lauren George, or Illustrator, for always bringing what's in my head and our collective heads together and bringing it to life. So that's it about the guide's cover. Okay, so let's talk about what kind of books you can find in the guide. Now, the BiblioLifestyle 2023 Fall Reading Guide has 30 books that are organized across 9 categories. Now, 27 of the books are new and 3 are classics. And the best part about the guide, and I'm always thinking about readers and how they can best use it, is, I organize it into categories. So you can head straight to your favorite sections if you prefer, but you can also browse the other sections that you're curious about and that maybe you want to take a chance on if you're reading a genre that you don't normally read, and so on. So in the guide, you will find 6 literary fiction books. You'll find 3 historical fiction books, 3 non-fiction books, 3 cozy mysteries, 3 mysteries and thrillers, 3 science fiction and fantasy books, 3 collections of essays and stories, 3 romance novels, and like I said before, 3 classics. Now, if you're looking for even more insights into these books inside the BiblioLifestyle community, you can find the replays of my fall bookish chat. Now, this is where I went over each book in the guide and provided books like and books similar to comparisons so readers could further decide if, hey, this sounds like a book for me. Plus, inside the community, you'll also find a downloadable PDF in a similar style to the guide, but, slightly different, with a list of all the books that were on my short list for the guide. So you'll get to see all the books I've read and love that were strong contenders. I still include the books that made the guide. So if you're a community member and you're listening, log in, download the PDF, and the books that were selected for the guide are the ones that are highlighted in red, but then the ones that were in black are the ones that I was really considering. They were contenders for inclusion in the guide, but ultimately they didn't make it. So if you want to tune in to the fall bookish chat, and yes, I pulled books from my shelf. I'm showing you the books there on screen. I found books like, I was pulling books like mad, okay? There's even a point during the recording, I was like, ooh, I spy this book in the corner of my eye, and I scoot over there to get it. So if you want to watch all my shenanigans and watch the fall bookish chat and get the PDF with the short list, join the BiblioLifestyle community. So visit bibliolifestyle.com/community and select the best membership plan for you. That's bibliolifestyle.com/community, and you'll get to see all the other perks that you will get by being a member. Also, it's a great time to join because I'll be sending out fall-themed snail mail soon. I just remembered, I'll be sending out fall-themed snail mail soon, and of course, holiday-themed snail mail will be going out as well. And I know we celebrate different things. Some people don't celebrate at all. So my holiday snail mail is just very neutral. It's just very bookish, but festive, but it's not alluding to any specific, celebration. It's just bookish fun. So yes, it's another great time to join the community because you'll get the fall-themed snail mail, you'll get the holiday snail mail coming up. And, if you're like me, you love some happy mail because, sometimes you do need a break from all those bills, the notices, the promotional flyers, just all the things you really wish weren't in your box. So another reason to join the community, visit bibliolifestyle.com/community, and I hope to see you there. All right, Alrighty, so now back to the guide, back to the books. Now in the guide, I also have a category that's for the minimalist reader. Now this is entitled The Minimalist Reads List. Now this list has 8 books that I highly recommend if you're only planning to pick up a few books this fall. If you browse through the guide and you get to the minimalist list, which is really close to the end, you'll notice that I've selected one standout book from each category in the guide, minus the classics. I was really focusing on the new books categories. And this is how I put together the minimalist list, because I do this on purpose to kind of put together a healthy mix to give people different options as well, and to help you broaden your reading horizons. And also, I want you to know, and I want you to rest easy knowing that these books are not only selected from across genres, but they're all just incredibly beautifully written, they're incredibly compelling, they're thought-provoking, they're enjoyable, and they're great for discussions. And some of them are just downright entertaining, you know? So they're just very well done, and that's the reason why I, in addition to selecting them for the guide, I'm like, okay, these are standout books, and I put them together in the minimalist list. So today I'll be sharing with you the 8 books I selected for the minimalist list. And again, I hope you'll consider downloading the guide to see all the books in the guide by visiting fallreadingguide.com. Okay, so book 1 on the minimalist list is my literary fiction selection, and I selected Family Meal by Brian Washington. The elevator pitch I have for this novel is: after the tragic death of his boyfriend, Cam returns to Houston and becomes entangled in a web of addiction, grief, and complicated relationships. Now, I will share the comparisons with you here, and I highly recommended this book for readers who read Nightcrawling by Leila Motley, Luster by Raven Leilani, or if you're a fan of Brian and you read his previous book, Memorial. So if you've read any of these books, I really think Family Meal is the book for you. And again, if you want even more of a discussion, again, visit the community and watch the Fall Bookish Chat replays. For our non-fiction selection, I recommended Wifedom by Anna Fonda. Wifedom is a biography of George Orwell's first wife, and this book highlights how crucial she was to his success and how she directly influenced some of his most famous works. Now, this is super easy. If you're a fan of George Orwell, I highly recommend you reading this book. If you also read and loved Orwell's Roses by Rebecca Solnit, which, by the way, I recommended in a previous guide, I think you'll appreciate this one. And also All That I Am by Anna Fonda. I think if you read either of those books or you're just a fan of Orwell, I really recommend you giving Wifedom a go. In our historical fiction section, I selected Beyond the Door of No Return by David Diop, and this was translated by Sam Taylor. Beyond the Door of No Return is told from the perspective of a French botanist in Senegal who becomes obsessed with finding a woman sold into slavery who escaped and returned to a nearby village. Now, as a comparison, I would say if you read and you loved David's previous book, which I thought was just flawless, All Night Blood is Black, then you're naturally going to gravitate to his latest book. But also, if you're a fan of How Beautiful We Were by Imbolo Bue, or Gravel Heart by Abdulzarak Gurna, and apologies for the butchering of the names, but if you read either of those books, I think you'll love Beyond the Door of No Return. Okay, cozy mysteries time. I am highly recommending you read Murder and Mammon by Mia P. Manasala. In Murder and Mammon, Leela's godmothers are about to open a laundromat. But when a dead body is found inside the premises, Leela investigates with the help of a retired police detective. Now, I have to say that the Tita Rosie's Kitchen Mystery books are just phenomenal. I think they're really great cozies. So if you're a fan of the series, obviously you'll gravitate to this one. But another book that I thought it was similar to is Mimi Lee Gets a Clue by Jennifer J. Chow. So if you've read Mimi Lee, I highly recommend, if you haven't already, to read Murder and Mammon, and also the other books in the Tita Rosie's Kitchen Mystery series. Okay, for our mysteries and thrillers, I'm recommending Bright Young Women by Jessica Knoll. Now, the elevator pitch for Bright Young Women is that the only eyewitness to a horrible crime must confront the past when she receives a mysterious letter 30 years later. Now, this is a good book for mystery and thriller and suspense fans, but also for true crime fans as well. Now, for comparisons, obviously, if you read Jessica's previous book, Luckiest Girl Alive, then hey, you'll probably want to read this one too. I was thinking about The Guest List by Lucy Foley, similar as well. Okay, our science fiction and fantasy selection is Starling House by Alex E. Harrow. In Starling House, a grim and gothic tale that follows Opal and Arthur as they confront buried secrets and sinister forces in a small town haunted by a mysterious house. Now, I love books, especially fantasies, when they revolve around a place or a house. If there's a house in a mystery and a thriller, a fantasy, a gothic, a horror, I am there. And if you are a fan of Alex E. Harrow, maybe you love The 10,000 Doors of January, this book is for you. And I dare say, I think this is her best book yet. It's just absolutely phenomenal. I really enjoyed it. Another book I was thinking about was Book of Night by Holly Black. Okay, in our essays and stories, I am recommending Holler Child by LaToya Watkins. Now, this is a collection of stories that portrays West Texas characters facing loss, disappointment, and betrayal with stories that explore the power and resilience of women. If you read and loved, and this is an absolute favorite of mine, Sabrina and Corina by Kali Fajardo and Steen, highly recommend you pick up Holler Child. If you also loved Lot by Brian Washington, I highly recommend you pick up this one too. I know I mentioned Brian Washington earlier because I was talking about his novels, but he actually debuted with a story collection, and Lot was just incredible. Sabrina and Corina, though, is just a standout favorite. So if you're fans of either of those two books, highly recommend you pick up Holler Child by LaToya Watkins. Okay, and the last category is romance, and the romance novel I'm recommending is A Dish Best Served Hot by Natalie Kana. Now, in this book, former high school sweethearts reunite after decades apart because of their grandfathers, and they now have a chance at a fresh start. Now, if you were a fan of Natalie's previous book, then this book is for you. I absolutely love that book, and it also had the grandfather narrative in there. So if you love, meddling family members, this will pull at your heartstrings. I know it did for me. Another book I'd compare this to is Talk Bookish to Me by Kate Bromley. But yeah, if you're looking for a really good contemporary romance, I highly recommend A Dish Best Served Hot by Natalie Kana. So, there you go, readers. The 8 books I'm recommending you read this autumn. Family Meal by Brian Washington, Wifedom by Anna Fonda, Beyond the Door of No Return by David Diop, translated by Sam Taylor, Murder and Mammon by Mia P. Manasala, Bright Young Women by Jessica Knoll, Starling House by Alex E. Harrow, Holler Child by LaToya Watkins, and A Dish Best Served Hot by Natalie Kana. Now, I know 100% reading is incredibly personal. It's a unique experience. I recognize that some of these books have heavy themes, and if you need trigger warnings, I highly recommend that you, 1, visit the Story Graph. It's a book app for readers, but it's a great resource for trigger warnings. It really, really is. So I highly recommend using the Story Graph for content warnings. It's It's crowdsourced, so that's incredibly helpful. So sometimes I'll look at something and say, oh, I never even thought of it. But, obviously someone else did. And I find it incredibly helpful. But also, I'd love to hear from you too. So if you have any questions, email me hello@BiblioLifestyle.com, and I'd be happy to respond and advise you on anything accordingly. So again, readers, if you haven't already, visit fallreadingguide.com to download your free copy of the 2023 Fall Reading Guide. I'll also include a link in the show notes so you can sign up there and download your free copy. And also sign up for the BiblioLifestyle community. That way you can watch the Fall Bookish Chat. The replay is there, it's ready, it's available, and you can also download the short list with all the books that were up for serious consideration for inclusion in the guide. So visit bibliolifestyle.com/community. You'll also see all the additional perks of being a member. You just might be in time for the fall snail mail, fall themed snail mail that's going out for the season. But if you join now, you'll for sure be in line for the holiday themed snail mail. And that one is going to be extra special. So again, bibliolifestyle.com/community, and select the membership option that works best for you. I'll also include a link to that in the show notes as well, so you can join us inside. But readers, that's it. That's all for now. I really hope you enjoyed this year's Fall Reading Guide. I hope you'll discover plenty of books that you love, and I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Again, please don't be afraid to get in touch. But again, thanks for being here, thanks for listening, and I'm looking forward to chatting with you again soon. Happy fall reading! Thank you so much for listening to the Reader's Couch podcast. Please subscribe to the show, share it with a friend, and take a few seconds to leave a rating and review. Until next time, stay lounging, stay reading, and whenever you're in doubt, go straight to your local bookstore or library. Thanks again for listening, and happy reading.